Sup? We back. Things are getting juicier and I still don't know what happened exactly. But we figuring stuff out and we're a lot smoother about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're figuring things out a lot quicker, a lot snappier. Let's get right back into it. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. MR didn't come back. Oh yeah, she left because that Cell 9 incident. I still don't, well, they just gave it to us. Closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss, Edith Kirby, Neil Marshall, Jeb Bates. I don't recognize any of these names except maybe, well, there is Marshall the detective. Maybe he knew someone who got murdered by Joe Dirt and something about the case, because sorry, I've got a nosebleed. I don't know why, but my anytime I like start working out consistently and hard, I start getting nosebleeds. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm thinking, let me turn this my headset back on. So maybe the marshal, that's such a funny, anyway, maybe the marshal knew a victim, and because something went wrong with this case, right? If my memory doesn't fail me completely. And maybe he knew something, they're witnesses, so they saw the kill. Maybe one of the killings? I don't know. Let's see. Alright, I just want to wrap my head around it just a little bit. The mirror didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Alright, let's go, bro. Witness, please, no drinking on the witness stand. Please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place, were you not? Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert's sands. No paper can sum it up. I feel like cowboys don't stutter, huh? that threw off everything, bro. That little stutter. Maybe it's best we get on with it this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime in plain old English. Okay, well, you see, sir, like, what do you want him to do? My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. He was drinking on the job. Fire him! Y'all fired Angel Star, but not him? Sexism. At the time it went down, okay. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those things. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks on the evidence lockers? fingerprint activated locks. What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? Fire him on the spot. Holy shit. He's not being very helpful. He's not good. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. That's why it's okay. Okay. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. I remember them saying that earlier, but I just connected that with something earlier he said. But, yeah. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Well, he certainly did that day. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. So you didn't. Never mind. I just realized something. It's not relevant really, but because I realized I thought about something in the wrong way. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No, Desperado, I know Let's Rolls get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Office Marshal, are on the day of the crime? Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was rubber gloves stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, I can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Weeks? How does this guy avoid being fired? Is exactly what I'm saying. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Right, they just open their own locker. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? And do you have a receipt? Like, I don't trust him. Not as far as I could throw him. I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vangoli Sempia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Some spaghetti, sir. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson, a valuable one. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, Did you not want a raise this year? I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo? Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My still horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. My job was to keep a wary eye on them. Found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print had been wiped, right? Isn't that... The piece is missing. Found on a bloody... This was... Okay, hold on. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bloody motion. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I pressed everything, right? I don't know exactly what they want me to do here. Your job is to keep an eye. I don't even see anything here pertaining to him. I have so much damn evidence. He was eating spaghetti. I don't know, because this was his hand, right? Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that is you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. So the reason I didn't go right into it, use this. I'm stupid as hell. That's why. Because I was looking at this, I was like, isn't this Marshall's hand? And I did, because they just, security video, unstable jar, evidence locker. Like, I didn't even think about, I just read found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. I read that as found a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. I didn't even think to read Marshall's fingerprints. And I was talking all big, talking about, yeah, I'm locked in. Yeah, I'm snappy. I'm quick now. Whole time I'm not even reading. Not reading correctly. Like, I'm over here looking for something. I should have gone that way earlier. Sorry about that. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crib. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were officer. But you see, Your fingerprints were covered in blood. Listen here, you down dirty cowpoke. No, witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? Blood was wiped away, however. A luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? Edward seems so calm. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Oh, I'm dumb. The reason he must have been the one. Wait, no, didn't we just go through this? Wasn't Mika's woken up by a random cop, not Marshall? Okay, never mind then. Very well, you may begin your testimony by your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. All right, talk about it. Let's go. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't listen to half of that. That's the thing about doing, like, reading out loud and doing voices. Sometimes you just don't register what you read. But we gonna get right. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Feel it in my bones. Now's my chance to prove it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. Wait, but you said you don't go in the evidence room. That's because you. How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. Did I catch it? I don't think I did. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even knowing it. Marshall's fingerprints updated. Found on a bloody handprint. Wait, what was updated about it? Hold up. What was updated? Marshall found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. Oh, the fact that it's his locker. Gotcha. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. If this is true and he ain't lying, no, I mean, sorry. If he is lying, he's smart as hell to think of that. It's my locker. My fingerprints are all over it. So the fingerprint y'all found must have just overlapped with the blood. That would be so smart. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered. Yeah. We just went over this. I literally just pretty much said this. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. If he is bullshitting, that is so smart. The chances of that happening are one in a million, or 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? He's smart as hell if this is all a lie. If that really is his hand print. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? Yeah, they're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other is a type of murder. He's right, although seemingly like they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Homonyms, there's so many words you just forget until someone says it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's a word that exists. Or then you know the murderer was wearing gloves. How do you know that actually? Maybe you looked at the video, never mind. How do you know that? I may be a loner, or sorry, I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too, facts. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That makes no sense. Why was it wiped off? Because the other blood wasn't wiped off. So why was it cleaned? That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There is only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. Wait, yeah, because the damn locker was open because the cloth fell out. So we know he was in there. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. There's so many holes and I'm seeing it through. Is this what it's like not to be in a hurry or be rushed? Or like maybe just have good sleep? You just like actually start making connections? Because I swear the previous parts of this trial weren't as like, I couldn't see through them as easily. Couldn't see through what people were saying as easily. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? Did he add that? Oh yeah, he did add that. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. Objection! But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. Oh, if someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape, meaning crawling under it. That's why I couldn't see the person leave. That's fire. Objection. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you could show us evidence in this video that dictates Officer Marshall is present, please do so now. Show evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Jake Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. You know what's crazy? I've been recording for about an hour and a half. This is definitely around the time, because like when you're doing this, like if you haven't recorded a video, like it's one thing to record a video, but when you're reading everything out loud, I'm basically talking. I've been talking for like an hour and a half, with little breaks in between, but just talking straight for an hour and a half. Before that was I'm not gonna lie, around this time, I'd get a headache, my nose would get itchy, bro, my throat would start to hurt. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling good, bro. And you know what I think? I feel a little pressure in my head, but that's all right. You know what I think it is? Lately, I've been working out a lot harder. You know what I mean? Before I was kind of just, I lifted heavy. I was kind of going through the motions, heavy-ish, wherever for me. Lately, I've been doing a lot more, getting back in my CrossFit bag, because that's where doing CrossFit was kind of where I got most of my gains, doing CrossFit type stuff at least, when I was in the Army. But when I got out, I started, lifting regularly, and I was running a little bit, but then I kind of got off that, getting more endurance, getting more stamina, just heavy breathing type workouts. Got back into that, feeling good. And I can always tell when I'm really like getting back in shape. And man, it affects parts of your life that you don't really think about, bro. Like this, for me, this is crazy. Anyway, Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating... Oh, why does it do that? The way he walks is so scary. Like, just the way he pops up, man. I can't wait to get back into scary games. But at the same time, I can't wait, because fuck that. No. But, it gets the heart rate going. Nothing can really... never mind. Take that! Idiot! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. I mean, I'm chilling. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. That's fire. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Okay, cool. Perfect. Little clips like that. That's all I need. You don't need to replay the whole thing. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. I believe. That was the judge saying that. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Idiot. Stupid, dummy, goofy. Order, it would seem that the only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? Right, because he doesn't know, or he didn't know, that his fingerprints were needed to open the locker. I guess he thought anyone could do it. And that would explain, I think, why he just went up to the locker and just opened it. He didn't think he needed anyone's fingerprints. It was already open, so he just opened it. And then he opened his. Oh my gosh. That would explain why he wouldn't know. Oh my god. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Yeah, Edgeworth. It's like, oh shit. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? That's crazy. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You say I opened that locker. Now prove it. Hey, fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What's in his head? What kind of crazy talk is this? What kind of hoodoo magic is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Yep. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say? In 8 words or less, bitch. Caught you. I only got one word for you, partner. No, I'm having a heart attack. Order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing. Oh, I thought he was faking a heart attack when he said no and he clutched his chest. Or faking being shot. I don't know what he was doing. That's funny. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay? Please answer the question. What is he now? Oh. A bullfighter? That's alright. Officer Marshall, I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. Hold on, show me something, Phoenix. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yeah, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He didn't see Officer Marshall. But Meekins said he didn't look at the person's face. Maybe? Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. No. Got your ass. Objection. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. No, he didn't. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Objection. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it because he wasn't in it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Yep, obviously. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized that man wasn't Detective Goodman. Facts. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Let's go. Let's go. Are we good? That was weird. Man, let's turn down the temperature. You know what I mean? Like this. Yeah, something like that, maybe. No, let's turn up the temperature. I'm tripping. Or like cool down the temperature. You know what I mean? Walmart type lights. School assembly type lights. I don't know. I feel like this is too bright, bro. Hey, let me know something. Am I talking 30% maybe? 30%? Are we messing with 30%? I like 30%. 30% is cool. You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that, right? I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Here he go. Here he go. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? Why is he helping me out right now? I appreciate you. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, and after the crime was committed. He opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, what exactly is the piece of cloth? Perhaps it's his clothes? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Because there was blood on his trench coat? There's no way. That's crazy. They really went. Oh, wait. Bitch, hold on. How do I rewind? Okay, rewind. No, I keep thinking triangle. I'm sure the world would be a better place with you sent off to the boneyard. Damn! Unfortunately, unsolved cases can be stored in the evidence. Yeah, I know. I keep pressing triangle thinking that's gonna bring up my finger to point. Yeah. Please, bro. I got it. Please, bro. Please, bro. Hurry up, bro. I got it, bro. God damn, bro. I should have, just in case, I should have saved it in case I'm wrong about this. Look at him like skulking around, bro. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Too easy, bro. Not bad, partner. Yeah, he definitely did it. Yeah, for sure. Like, real quick. So here's what I'm thinking so far. I'm thinking whoever this was, right? Neil Marshall was. He was close to Officer Marshall, right? And for some reason, because of the case or whatever, I don't know, he wanted to take his vengeance out on the head investigator, Bruce Goodman. And he did. He took his clothes, because the knife, we also know, came from murder, usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. So he killed him. Oh my gosh. So he killed him. Not with this knife. He killed him with maybe this? Okay, so here's what happened. Hold on, 420, 777, whoever's ID card that is. That's Officer Marshall. He went in there, right, to grab the switchblade knife from SL92. From Bruce Goodman's locker. I don't know, maybe it was because, whatever happened in SL92, he wanted to take revenge on Bruce Goodman, the person who was the head investigator, and just like, you know, maybe some like poetry type shit, you know. He goes, kills him with that knife. Found out the crime scene wrapped in the defendant's muffler. Yeah. I just hate how calm she look. Maybe she's an accomplice. Maybe she didn't do it though. Anyways, Officer Marshall came, Jake Marshall. Brought, what's his name? Got Bruce Goodman there, killed him, put him in the trunk, or maybe Lana, I don't know, something, whatever. Maybe Lana put Bruce Goodman in the trunk. But no, because he still had on his clothes, Bruce. Maybe afterwards? Maybe afterwards he took the clothes and then went and like also took the knife from Edgeworth's toolbox. Oh no, none of that works because Edgeworth entered the parking lot at 5:12. And it takes 30 minutes to get from there to the evidence room. Yeah, he could have been there. Oh wait, no, I'm tripping. 5:12, not 4:12. I have no fucking clue. What happened? That's crazy. That's crazy. Now then, Miss Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I know obviously all I have to do is keep playing to figure it out, but it'd be fun to like just figure it out before we figure it out. You know what I mean? I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. All right, it seems the time has come. Please, let me know something. I just feel like I'm too yellow, bro. Too warm. Oh, I like that much better. I like that much better. I like that much more, I guess I should say. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm so confused. This is like some conspiracy shit. Had to do it that day. When you say it, right, it's what specifically? Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years ago have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. Oh. Okay, I don't... Interesting. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. So yeah, I'm pretty sure what happened was they got the wrong guy convicted and sentenced to death. Right? If I'm remembering correctly. If Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation, why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. If that's true, then how did we find it at the second crime scene? Or the prosecutor's office crime scene? Oh! Wait, yeah. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. It doesn't have a date on it, does it? Not a date, a time, I mean. Yeah, it doesn't have a time. Because how did it end up at the prosecutor's office if he was using it? Or did he take it from the prosecutor's office? Which means, why would he be there in the first place if he didn't know what was going to happen? This is crazy. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. Okay. Okay. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open the locker yourself. But he could because the rubber glove, right? That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I was expecting Officer Meek as I knocked him out. This is... You pulled a knife on Officer Meek as I tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his race this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. It's me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? No. What? I don't know what to say. So you nah, nigga, what? No, the knife you cut him with. What are you talking about? You don't even know where to... Right? You. This nigga right, bro. If he's the protagonist and I guess he is, because they're all called... They all have Phoenix Wright in the title, right? Or are they all just Ace Attorney? Whatever. He killing me, that's all I know. So you knocked up Sumika's out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. So you did your research beforehand. Well, he works there, bro. Those who got into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think It would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? But the glove was still there covering up this. This is... Yeah, I'm gonna call it after this. Enough of this session, I'm getting tired anyway. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Hit us with the emotional music. What's about to happen? Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. We're not done? Oh. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Press it. Alright. Go on. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. Okay, so they did get the right guy. I remember the case. Then who said it wasn't the right guy? They got the wrong man convicted. Or something. Maybe I'm tripping, bro. I could be tripping. Even Marshall is like, it's not over yet. Whatever. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me to this day. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. I stole the detective's ID. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, right? I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder. I can't just forget SL9 incident. You know why? Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. Yep. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Facts. Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? That's crazy. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. And he got murdered? Oh, that's right. He was killed. Wow. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you, brother? He was my brother. Yep. That's crazy, bro. I knew it, bro. I knew it, bro. I mean, it wasn't that hard to make the connection, but he was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Holy shit, he looked crazy. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Wow, he went down swinging. Gotta respect that. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. Yeah, like, what's the problem, bro? What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. That's freaking crazy. Chance? There's got to be more than just that. Oh, fuck me then. Ooh. I was gonna say, okay, so earlier I was confused on how Bruce Goodman was still dressed, but Marshall has clothes. But I guess he just bought a set of clothes that looked like his. Okay, so that ties that up. Bro, this is crazy, bro. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one, which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Objection, bitch. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Objection. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. Nigga. I don't know why that Edward, I don't know, it just feels like I don't know, that felt right. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. No, he don't. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, nigga. and the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable, nigga. I don't know why that's so funny to me, bro. It just feels right. It just feels so right, bro. Oh my gosh, that feels so right. If you have a response, make it a single word or less, nigga. Oh, why is that? That shouldn't be that funny, bro. That shouldn't be that funny, bro. Oh my god. Holy shit. Ah. Ha ha ha. I rest my case, nigga. It's not. Oh my. Okay. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time, nigga. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Hold it! Hold her in contempt of court. Because what are we... Come on, MR. Your Honor, wait. Emma. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Right? Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense? Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. I feel like they should say asking for is a minute of your time. I don't know like how anytime a game needs a translation to English, I never know like how accurate it is or if it just makes sense. You know what I mean? But I do get that sentence did make sense, but to me, I feel like there was like a cultural divide that kind of made the sentence not sound right. You know what I mean? Like people would typically say it like this, even though you could say it like anyway. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3, nigga. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SO9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Joe Dark is your dad. I don't know. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file, right, as witnesses. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. Oh, right. That must have because she hasn't been here for this trial. Yo, hold on. This is the first trial that Wright has handled on his own. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not up to this point, but like, well, up to this point, he has handled it on his own. But like before, he always had someone to bounce, stuff off of. For this part, we proved Officer Marshall and his whole story without any help. That's what I'm talking about, right? Let's go. Improvement. Independence. So, did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Holy shit. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. Then why are you here? Why are you on the witness stand right now as we are speaking? And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Oh, hold on now. That's what I needed. Come on, man. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department. Does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Look at the floor plans. A handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use, but still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please, answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Because... this actually connects perfectly. I'm unplugging some shit. This connects perfectly. Because we know that Officer Marshall crawled under the camera and we didn't see him touch it. We also, and this connects to all the evidence here with the unstable jar, all that got broken. We never like figured out what happened there, and all the blood, right? It's because someone came in afterwards. They had to have come in afterwards because they also couldn't get to that locker because Blue Badger was blocking that locker. So someone came in afterwards. Whatever cop woke up, Officer Meekins maybe, I don't know. Oh man, this is crazy. Could there be something I'm missing? I object. Objection. Objection! This handprint left at the crime scene. Let me see. Clearly shows a contradiction. This nigga here. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Easy, easy. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item could prove something is missing in the floor plans? Whole time, I'm wondering, why the fuck is this evidence? Whole time. Every time I open this, every time I hit R1, open this court record, I'm like, why is this still here? What is it? Like, why do we care? What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Cause I think this nigga's tripping everybody. Please, oh, did it autoplay? Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? I'm not gonna yell. It's too. Bro, anyway. So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, I think it through. Oh, Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. MR. If y'all wonder why I keep saying MR like that, Emma like that, it's because I don't know. I always think it's funny that I think it's Australian accents. They add like at the end of like no MR. You know, I just love that. So I don't know. Anyway. MR just seems like a one to do. Like, I don't do that with Lana. That don't even sound right. I don't think they would do that. But I feel like they'd add that or at the end of Emma. Anyway. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in. Yeah, that makes sense. Given the evidence that we have, like someone entered earlier. So that's fair. I just feel like, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to see it because you can't see the floor with the camera, huh? So you wouldn't be able to see it, like the vase and shit. But I was thinking afterwards because I don't know. I felt like I would see something. I would see the like broken vase or something afterwards, or like someone would bring to question why there was already a big pool of blood. Because I assume when the vase was broken or whatever, all that stuff happened, that there was a big puddle of blood, and we already know that it couldn't have come from Officer Meekins because it was just like a cut on the hand. So I feel like people would go in there and be like, why is there a bunch of blood here? You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like either Marshall or Meekins would have said something about that if it was already there. So I was thinking it happened after, but I guess that doesn't make sense because we know deaths happened before, like between 4 and 5:30. All right, well, you know, let's just keep going. Was left there before the blue badge was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. I don't know why I said courtroom like that. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, who is 77777? Whose ID number is that? Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. I guess we don't have, because surely people went into that evidence room before 4. You know what I'm saying? Surely. So I guess we wouldn't. But what? There's only one other person who could, I mean, whoever let him in, maybe they needed him in because he didn't have his ID number, and they could have helped let him in and then murdered him. Or that's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim, nigga. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Right, like, okay, hold up. Maybe Meekins wasn't paying attention, but when you put the blue badger down, when he noticed there's a lot of blood around here, like, no? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, maybe that would have made gameplay too hard, like designing the case. I don't know, or maybe there's a reason. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place, nigga? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. See, I guess what's messing me up is that I just figure Meekins or Marshall would have said something about the blood they saw, or saw the blood, you know what I mean? But maybe I should just put that out of my mind. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, an ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done here? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That's what I'm saying! That's what I'm saying! That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. Oh, I'm tripping! Okay, so yeah, all that makes sense. Okay, everything up to this point makes sense. Because I forgot that when we saw the blood, it was because of the luminal test fluid. So it was cleaned. So it could have taken place before and just cleaned up. And that's why they didn't notice. I'm over here in my head like, how the fuck? Duh. I'm dumb as hell. I forgot that we used that to see the blood in the first place. I thought for some reason it was already there. I guess it's because when we looked at the picture, or whenever we looked at that scene, we saw caution tape, and in my mind, oh, then there must have been blood there, you know? But yeah, I'm tweaking. Got it. Alright, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. Right, that's what I'm thinking. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. What? When it's part of a trial? But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. It's an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. You literally dressed up as another detective. Like, what are we talking about? I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Objection. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? I mean, she on the chopping block. She might as well tell the truth. Oh my God. How long is this trial? Holy sh! I feel like I'm kind of zooming through. I'm talking a lot, just random stuff, but still. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. This bitch is a killer. We did what we had to. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. She looked good from that side profile, god damn. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order. Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial. Sorry I ruined that moment a little bit. My fault. Would have to wait until the following day. I felt like I needed that. That was such like a peak moment. I was like, I had to yell it, but I was like, I'm being too loud. I mean, there's no reason to be this loud. And I'm yelling all in your ear. Holy crap. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, this game would have been so fun to play as a kid. On the whatever system it was on a handheld, right? Like a Nintendo DS. I think someone commented that. I don't know if it was Nintendo DS, but I think it was a handheld. This must have been so fun to play. I think as a kid, what was I playing on the DS? Pokemon. Some more Pokemon. Pokemon was like my main thing because I really wanted games that lasted long and you could replay multiple times, different ways. Like I was a real open world RPG, like just games that last long type of kid. Especially because I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to get that many games, you know what I mean? So I really wanted them to last, right? And I remember that, and then a Dragon Ball game, but I stopped playing it. I forget why. I think I got in trouble at school once for playing it, and then I just stopped at one point because it was, I don't know, I forget. I remember it being pretty fun though. I think it got repetitive. I don't know. But anyway, if I had this game, it'd be pretty cool. I'd probably never pick it because like I probably wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't last long enough for me, especially with replayability. Man. I don't want to take a break, but I kind of need it. I could tell my mind is, my head is starting to hurt a little bit, but And I don't know how long the rest of this might last, or the next little part, section, whatever. And I'd rather like do this midday where I have plenty of time where I don't feel rushed to like get it over with or whatever. That aside, a lot happened. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, if you didn't, try another video, maybe like that one. And that, keep your head up. Peace.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all.